Congenital anophthalmia is a challenging situation. However, if we start early and we follow the right protocols, the results can be gratifying. As we all know, it's a developmental problem in the first 4th to 7th week of intraembryoidal life when the optical vesicle is being formed. There is a developmental arrest at that level. Certain genetic effects have been mapped out and more than 33 mutations of this particular gene called SOX2 gene has been identified with congenital anophthalmia. It is not only the eye that is ill-formed. If eyeball is not formed, the adnexal tissue as well as the bony tissue does not develop accordingly. And it's not only eye but the whole facial hemiatrophy takes place on the affected side. So this all has to be taken care of in treatment for congenital anophthalmia. Being a developmental disorder, it is not a surprise that it is associated with other systemic and local malformations as well. A detailed systemic workup along with the penetration is mandatory. The aim of treatment in these cases is of course to expand the socket so that child can be given a reasonably fit ocular prosthesis. At the same time, once we expand the socket, by default the bony orbit is also stimulated, and in sequence when the bony orbit is expanded, the facial hemiatrophy becomes less apparent. So once we start treatment with the development of socket, it actually manifests in whole of the face. And what is most important is it's a team approach. As an ophthalmologist alone, you cannot do anything unless you have a support of an ocularist who can take customized impression and regularly can increase in size so as to stimulate the development of socket and bony orbit. Of course, the penetration involvement is important, and at times we need plastic surgeons to take care of the facial deformities. So the 3 ways to expand socket. First is conservative way. Second is using the implants, self-expanding as well as silicone balloons, and third is surgical reconstruction. In my experience, all 3 have been tried, and I will be sharing with you the results of all these 3 methods. First is the conservative mode of socket expansion, where we start as early as possible with a customized conformer that can be placed inside the socket, and serial expansion within gap of 4 to 6 weeks depending upon the child. This child presented at 6 years of age is not with congenital anophthalmia. Fortunately, his sockets were reasonably well developed so that even though phonics was shallow, but we could give him a prosthesis conformer which can be accommodated given his phonesis depth, and we gave a stem on the conformer so that we could press on the conformer using a microboard that will help form the inferior phonics. That's how it looks. In about 2 to 3 weeks of this pressure, he was able to retain conformer on its own. Once he was able to retain conformer on his own, we removed the stem and it was left like this. Gradually, we started expanding, and as you can see, within span of 4 weeks, this inferior phonics, which was very shallow to start with, became reasonably well formed to retain the conformer. Then we gave him a customized conformer, which was serially expanded. And once he has enough space in the prosthesis and opening of the pulpal fissure matched, we'll give him a prosthesis. The second is, we were fortunate enough to get this child early. In fact, when he came to us at 6 weeks of age, he was already using a customized conformer from Shankar Netraga. This is one of the earliest child that we started treating with customized conformer. So this is the first conformer that he came with. 4 weeks later, we enlarged this conformer. Again 4 weeks later, third enlargement. This is the 4th conformer. We painted in the center so as to give a better appearance. Again, after a month, we increased it further without any surgical, just serial enhancement. And after about 4 months, we gave him a prosthesis. It wasn't as good looking in first go, but we increased the size later on, and it did look very well in terms of pulpal fissure. It matched exactly. There was no lag of turbulence, and we have been following this child for almost 10 years now. And this is his latest photograph at 5 years, because prosthesis was getting bigger and it was starting rotating. So we did an implantation with orbital implant. 18 number orbital implant could be implanted, and then prosthesis was very lightweight and thin. Orbital implant is a good device to replace the volume. Care has to be taken that it should be used only after proper socket expansion. If you try to push it before, it leads to very suboptimal outcome, and it also makes future attempts very useless. So, whenever we started early, results have always been very gratifying. Most of these patients were managed without surgery. That message is very clear. You should start early, you should go gentle, and results are gratifying. However, at times, instead of gentle expansion, brute force is used. Example, this child who presented at 7 years of age, congenital ophthalmia, very shallow phonics. We started with socket expansion as in our first case. We were able to make adequately phonics to retain a conformer. However, at that point of time, the referring surgeon decided to do a self-expansile implant. And that self-expansile implant was put through first conjunctival suture, that should not have been done. Second, this implant migrated to inferior phonics, making the phonics very shallow, so that he was not able to retain conformer. With surgical correction, we were able to put conformer, phonics formation suture, mucous membrane graft, and he was able to retain a conformer, but not as good outcome as would have achieved with a conservative expansion first and then stepwise approach. The fourth example where a rather aggressive approach was taken in first go. The child was presented at 4 years with a plastic surgeon. He had consulted. He operated for phonics formation surgery with the temporalis flap transfer and the mucous membrane graft all in one go. It initially looked very gross. Gradually, the graft started shrinking in size. You were able to fit a conformer and a prosthesis, but as you can see, there was a complete leg of thalamus and results could have been better had we stayed conservative. This child presented at 12 years of age. By that time, most of the facial development is complete. She had a very bony contraction as well, and then the socket was cross-contracted so much so that the conformer could not be placed inside. So first we did a medial canthoplasty to decrease the delicatus. Then we did a lateral canthoplasty and a phonics formation suture along with the Ovisfat graft, and we were able to place a prosthesis even though it was a small one. But at 12 years of age, trying to expand is not very fruitful. With cosmetic optics, we could give her a reasonable cosmetic outcome. However, with all the surgical intervention, as the time passes, there is a fibrosis and most of the things are undone results. The final is not as good as you would have achieved with a conservative approach, with gradual expansion and then giving prosthesis. So stepwise reconstruction is better, but it is not as good as conservative approach. And this is one example where she underwent repeated surgeries starting 1 year of age. By the time she came to us at 6 years, she had a number of surgeries. Every time surgeon will take to OT, make phonics formation, some sort of expansion, conformer would be put, and invariably within a month it will be expelled out. By the time she had come, the very strong fibrosis under general anesthesia, we could hardly put a conformer. There was complete leg of thalamus, and it was a matter of time before it was expelled. Unfortunately, we could not fit her with prosthesis. So, surgical intervention ideally should be deferred unless we try all possible means of conservative expansion. Once we have conservative socket expansion, we should give up an implant. And main thing is that we should have a long-term management plan. This expansion cannot be achieved in short term. We have to start as early as possible. It should go very gradual and gentle, and surgical intervention role is limited only once the socket and soft tissue has expanded. Thank you very much.